So I'm gonna start this video off by being completely honest. I don't review sequels in their own videos. It's not a thing that I do. I actually just posted a video explaining that and reviewing a bunch of sequels in one video so I can talk about them briefly. I don't do full reviews on sequels because I don't do videos with spoilers. I mean, sometimes I do, but it's very rare. And it didn't even occur to me that I don't do full video reviews on sequels. When Simon & Schuster emailed me asking if I wanted a copy of The Burning World to review on my channel, I was like, yes! I will definitely review that! So, anyway, yeah. I'm breaking the rules a little bit, and I'm doing a full-length video review on a sequel. So I'm not going to spoil anything from this book. It's going to be a spoiler-free review like normal for this book, but if you haven't read Warm Bodies, it's basically going to spoil Warm Bodies for you. Except, if you've seen the movie, I mean, the endings aren't the same, but I mean, kind of, they're basically, I mean, you get the idea, basically. If you've seen the movie, you basically don't have to worry about being spoiled for the book, if you haven't read the book but we want to see this review. The Burning World takes place after Warm Bodies, a few weeks, I think, after Warm Bodies ends, and R is kind of coming accustomed to being human and alive. Him and Julie are living in a house in the abandoned suburbs, trying to basically get everyone on board with this whole cure thing that is slowly spreading. They don't get very far into that because they get called back over to the stadium. That's basically where people live in these books, is in sports stadiums, which is pretty cool. That was something I really, really liked from the first book. So they get called back over to the sports stadium so that they can be told about stuff that's going on. There's all these helicopters flying by, all of a sudden they don't know what's going on. And then these weird people show up at the stadium who are kind of acting like robots, and they basically blow the place up, is basically what they do, and then blame it on, like, the leader from the sports stadium. Julie and R and Nora get taken prisoner, and they're tortured, and they don't understand why or what's happening, but then someone shows up and helps them escape, and I'm not going to tell you who it was. Well, his name is Abram, but I'm not going to tell you, like, who Abram is. And so it's about them basically kind of trying to figure out who these people are that showed up at the stadium and why they wanted to, like, kind of take over and why they blew them up. And they're basically also just trying to escape from them because they were held prisoner and they escaped, so these people who held them prisoner are now after them, and they're now also after the guy who helped them escape because he helped them escape. And so it's about that. I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and I liked the writing. I thought there were some parts that were really funny as well. What I actually really liked about it was Abram. Abram was my favorite, and I also really liked that R's kids were in it, his zombie kids, who are half zombies. They're kind of on their way to being cured, kind of the way R was in the beginning of Warm Bodies. And I thought they were kind of funny even though they didn't really have much of a point to the story. Like, they weren't really, like, they didn't interact very much because they were just half zombies who couldn't say much, and they just kind of stayed off to the side. But I liked that they were a part of the story, and I liked that they were important to R, that he was, like, treating them like they were actually his kids. And I also liked that the story also follows this random half-zombie boy who's traveling by himself, and I really, really liked his story a lot. I could have read a book about him, I feel like. Not a long book, like not a 500-page book, but like the length of Warm Bodies. Totally could have read a book about that kid. I thought his story was really interesting. The reason I didn't give it any higher than 3 stars mostly was because I feel like this book didn't need to be 500 pages. I feel like a lot of the scenes dragged, and I feel like there were also a lot of unimportant scenes that could have been taken out and it wouldn't have affected the story whatsoever. I also didn't like R's memories that he was getting back. I liked some of them, but like, I knew where it was going. From the very beginning of the story, I knew what kind of person he was, and I didn't need to be reading from his memories to know. So when you found out, it wasn't a shock to me at all. There was a lot of stuff that gave it away at the beginning, which maybe you were supposed to already know, but I didn't like who his character was, which I don't think we were supposed to, but I didn't enjoy reading about it. And I also felt like his memories were too choppy and covering too much of a big time span that it confused me. And it didn't answer any questions, it just brought up more questions for me. It actually really confused me about the zombie plague, about when that started, because at first, from his memories, I thought it was kind of explaining how the zombie plague started, and then it wasn't, and then I was just confused. And there was a lot about the story that confused me about how much people traveled, too, which was weird. So, there were definitely aspects of the story that I didn't like. But there were definitely aspects of the story that I did like. Ooh, there were two things that I wrote down from it that I liked, so I'm gonna get my phone. I have it on my Goodreads status update thing. Okay, so these were the two quotes that I liked. So the first one was, "I don't have to be a monster to hurt people. I can do it gently, with a single careless breath." And then I liked, "I'm not trying to talk sense into her, or convince her to give up what I know she can't. I'm just running alongside her, ready to catch her if she falls." So, I liked those. The other thing that bothered me, which is nothing like to the story, but something I just felt like mentioning, was that nobody called each other by the names they wanted to be called, which frustrated me so much, because friggin' R kept calling Marcus M, and he kept correcting him and saying, "It's Marcus," and R refused to call him Marcus, and he kept calling him M, and then Marcus kept calling R Archie, and he was like, "My name is not Archie, stop calling me that, my name is R," and it frustrated me so much. Just call people what they want to be called, it's not that hard. I'm sorry for that. Apparently this is a touchy subject for me. Yes, 3 stars. There's apparently going to be a third one. I'll probably read it. The story obviously was not concluded, so I would like to find out what happens. Yeah. I guess that's all. Bye!